Hello, hi, welcome, hi, hello, hi, everybody. Welcome to the Emo Social Club podcast here on emosocialclub.tv. I, as every week, and hope to continue on every single week, am Brian.
And I am Lizzie, and Brian could continue to be himself, or he could be McLovin. It really just depends on his mood at this point.
I am McLovin. If you're on the stream, I have a mustache and I look like McLovin.
I really want to know what your girlfriend thinks of it.
Honestly, so I thought 100% this is going to look awful and everyone will hate it. But I think, and listen, I'm calling all y'all out. I think the reason people hate mustaches is because they have a connotation about the mustache. What the fuck? How are you tipping $50?
Who's tipping $50 in this economy?
How are you
in this
even
pandemic?
And why aren't you subscribing? Why is your name I'm not subscribing and you're I mean, I'll take it, man. Thank you. Wow. All right. I guess I'll stop talking about my mustache.
That's actually what it was for. Keep it. Shut the fuck up.
Thank you. I will shut the fuck up. I don't know. Like I think people have a connotation about what a mustache is, and they're like, everybody will look like this if they have a mustache. And I'm like, I disagree, but I have to find out personally. And after doing this, I haven't gotten as many people like, that looks terrible as I thought I would. Like
you've already had facial hair before, so was it that big of a pivot? If you were just clean shaven and started to just add on facial hair, I think it would have been a big ooh, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Just please don't put on a beanie and with your weird 80s dad pedo looking glasses, because you're gonna look like an indie kid, and I may have, if I see you somewhere, I may have an immense urgency to hit you.
The amount of people, thank you, Dashni. Dashni says, because it doesn't look terrible. Yeah, I guess it doesn't. I'm fine with it. I looked at myself in the mirror and was like, who the fuck is this asshole? And I still do, but actually, to be fair, that was before the mustache too. Yeah, I don't know. I'm rolling with it. If you follow me on social media, I posted earlier today that I got laid off on Monday, and I went into my meetings with this mustache and didn't feel great. Did not. So. Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm doing well. I just have a mustache for all the serious times. I will shave it before I go into future interviews, probably. But
I'm proud of you.
In the meantime, yeah, I was just trying to look like a fucking idiot on Twitch, which is going great because I am, and we got paid $50 for me to look like an idiot. Thank you, whoever you are. I really wish that I knew who you were. You're not saying anything in chat. I'm just gonna accept your $50.
Your nice thing that you did.
Yeah, that's really nice. Like I was saying earlier, all money just goes to hosting our podcasts and all the stuff we do here for Emo Social Club. So as of before I became unemployed, that was mostly coming out of my pocket. But now it will come out of the collective Emo Social Club pocket. So that is lovely of you. Thank you for that. That's all the news I have of this week.
We're adding emo yoga. If you saw the post, I did a test run with some very nice friends of mine on this past Monday. So we're going to do it Monday nights at 7 p.m. And it's a different playlist every week. I want to say, I think the playlist that I have that I used on my friends, because I also asked on my personal social media what songs people want to hear. And it actually is pretty good. It flows well. I went through it. I was like, this is pretty chill because my chill music is like want for me to relax, listen to trance and house and techno music. So my chill
Okay.
music is not chill music to most other people. So I really had to like dig deep here and find, different things.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's not crazy exercise. It's vinyasa flow yoga, so it's a little bit more
why don't they just call it
low key.
floga?
Flow, no. We could get crazy. I got weights. We can add weights to
Oh,
it.
shit.
You'll be sweating.
Listen,
I
I
have break out my inhaler.
I'm really busy. I can't even use that excuse anymore. So I'm just straight up not. Um,
You bring Sarah, Megan in that room and do yoga.
oh my god, no. We're not doing that. They have been doing yoga on
Love it.
occasion. I actually did an Orange Theory workout earlier.
Really?
Yeah, Sarah and I were doing that in our time. We're just like, oh, let's do something. Like I know that if I just sit around and don't like do something, that I will go crazy and like just like feel a lot of feelings. Um, how many people do I think are in the chat that aren't subscribed? You. um, yeah. So I was like, all right, let's just get up and do something. I'm curious what goes into an emo yoga session. So maybe you could describe what it is a little bit more.
So what I did is basically I drop whatever kind of like yoga flow routine. So it's going to be anywhere from like 30 to like 45 minutes ideally. So it's just like a lot of stretching and doing like down dog or like warrior two. I'm going to throw in some core workout too at the end because everyone needs to work on their core muscles.
That seems always true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, that and then I was thinking, I don't know how people feel about this. My friends thought it was good, but they could have just been saying it was good because they were my friends.
True.
But I wanted to do because when I also take yoga classes online and my yoga instructor's been doing it, but I do weight yoga, so it's more intense. And we
Mhm.
do little hit sessions, and I'm like, it's not gonna be a full hit session, but it's like halfway through. What if I just put on like a short, like 2 or 2.5 minute bop, and we just like pretend we're at an emo night and dance, and then we go back to doing whatever the fuck we were doing.
Not a bad idea. I don't hate that idea at all.
Listen, I think that could be fun because everything else is very chill, but then like you throw in like I put in Boys Like Girls Heels Overhead,
Hmm.
and I was like, okay, this is a fun dance song. So I was
So,
just trying to do it, but I also like to in the playlist I threw in some newer music, so like newer emo bands that maybe people haven't heard of, in
mhm.
hopes that maybe they'll like it. Because some of the newer emo bands do have some pretty like slower down tunes that I know of, and then I'm also pulling some older ones that I have found in passing or that some of my friends suggested.
Nice. Yeah, it that actually sounds really cool. Chat seems on board
They
with it.
turned it
So
around now.
yeah, because
You
like
don't
it.
need a yoga mat either. Like my mom has been doing yoga with me without a mat for like 3 months.
Nice.
So,
Okay.
you don't need a mat. You just need like, ideally like a comfy floor if you want
A
or,
comfortable floor.
or you can use a towel or a rug. I don't fucking care. Just don't hurt yourself. I have to say I'm not certified, but I've been doing yoga for about 13 years. So, I feel like I know enough.
You take your own risks.
You take your own risk. Don't hurt yourself. I'm not paying $3,500 to get
No,
certified in it. Because you
no,
know what?
not for
That's how
this.
much one of my classes are. Okay.
Yeah, not for this shit. Uh, weight yoga is the worst, but I support you. Yeah,
Oh, we're not gonna add in weights to this. I do that on my own time, and I die every
that's
time.
in private.
Yeah, that's in private where my dad walks past the room that I'm in, and there's no door up yet, but he'll look in, and he's like, "You're sweating," and I'm like, "I need my inhaler.
I need my inhaler.
I'm dying."
Yeah, it could just it could be dance parties too, like Courtney's saying. Yeah.
Yeah, we could just toss it in, break it up a little bit, be like, "Oh, I'm chill," but now we're gonna get hyped.
Now we're gonna get hyped.
Yeah, so it's gonna be every Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I'm still working out like routing the music through here and everything, and playing around
Mhm.
with that. But it'll be pretty easy going. I won't make you do too many crazy things. I do like to do the flying frog pose by changing flying lizard because I'm terrified of frogs.
And
Um,
your lizard.
and I'm a lizard. So that's like the most intense thing we may do. And that's why we need to heat up your core because you have to be able to push your entire body up and hold it on your
Christ.
hands.
Well, I'm out.
Listen,
That's
you
not.
could do it.
I guarantee you. I promise you. I cannot do that.
Just don't do it like near things that you might fall into is the thing I have to tell
So
you.
now I gotta move all my things to find out I can't do
Yeah.
something.
Listen, I have to do it. There's a fireplace in this room and I did it one night. I almost smacked my head in the fucking fire in this the brick fireplace because I'm an idiot.
It seems like it's not worth it. I understand that it is. Like I understand very much right now that I have to like move and physically exert myself so that I don't like just become a pile of goo in quarantine now. Uh and like at the same time I'm just like, but at what cost? Like how bad is it to be goo? Like what if I was like Secret World of Alex Mack and like I could
Oh
control it
my
and like go under
god.
doors and shit, you know?
But here's the thing, you're goo at the end of the night. So you can take a nice bath, use your nice Lush products. That's what I do. Feel very
So
refreshed.
now I have to get Lush products? Lizzie, I'm
Whatever products you
unemployed.
want.
I've become unemployed. I cannot
I'm
afford
pretty
Lush
sure
products.
Sarah has some very nice products you could use.
She
You
does.
smell nice.
She does have some smell nice
You go
stuff.
to bed, you're all nice and snuggly and your comfy PJs.
I'll allow it. I'm gonna try
Sky
it.
high, love. Oh yeah, I love that. I like that. Yeah.
Turn into that one guy from Sky High. I don't think I've ever seen it. I guess I'll have
What?
time now.
How have you never seen Sky High?
I don't know because I'm 48 years old.
Shut the fuck up.
Because I'm 97. I have
Oh my
Epsom. I do
god.
have Epsom salt. Chad is recommending Epsom salt. I do have Epsom salt.
What you can also do too, this is what I did when I was like really sick like a few years ago. You take green tea bags, you pre-soak it in like hot water in like a mug. You put the Epsom salt in and then you dump the hot water with the tea bags in it and you soak. And it's
Wow.
supposed to help detox you.
I could use that probably now.
It's really good.
Courtney, I don't think I need a DVD of it.
People
I'm
have
sure I'll
DVD
find it on
players.
the internet. I have like 4 DVD players because I have so many
Excuse
video
you?
game systems.
I finally got because I'm part of the Writers Guild through work, and during like the academy, like the award season, we were supposed to get because we can actually vote on who wins like these awards.
Okay.
I have that power. And so they'll send you like DVDs of things that are like in theaters. So I got like uncut gems when I was still in the theaters and I didn't want to go watch, pay money to see a movie. So I watched it at home for free, same thing with Parasite. And they still had my old address because I had moved last year. So the people who lived at our new house now call us like, hey, like we have all this stuff here. Like, can you come and get it? So my mom went to go pick it up. And it was literally just a huge, like brown grocery bag of just DVDs of like Little Woman and like all these other like like Oscar nominated
Wow.
movies, and they're all on DVD. And I'm like, we don't have a DVD player in this house. We have not had a DVD player in this house probably since like 2009 when streaming happened.
Yeah, but also like Blu-ray came out after. Like, are people not using Blu-ray? Like, just send a
People
Blu-ray.
use Blu-ray.
I mean, I don't.
The
But
fact that
like,
people like still use physical copies of things
oh, it blows my
blows my
fucking mind.
mind because my family is such an early tech adopter family that like
Yeah.
when people like get on the train, we're like, where the fuck have you been?
Yeah, no, I exactly the same. Like I am front row center for all new technologies, but I did at one time live without the internet for like a few days. It was a few days. Don't worry, guys. I was okay. I survived it.
I'm so proud of you.
So I moved to a
A
new
built
place.
character, I see.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at my character. I did great. I really came out of it great. I bought because I had a PlayStation 3. I bought both Kill Bill movies on Blu-ray.
Ooh.
So I watched that like pretty much on repeat for like a couple days until the internet got installed. It was actually pretty good.
I mean, the Kill Bill series is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, they still show it because the first time I ever watched it was in a high school film class, so they still show it and it's still relevant, so
Yeah. Relevant. I
cinematically.
I also those two and the deluxe edition of Watchmen. I forget what
Ooh.
it's called, like the ultimate thing.
Yeah, yeah, something.
Yeah, that I bought because like you can't find that on streaming services. Like that is a specific thing. So I got that because it's like it's both the Snyder cut and the Black Freighter edition. So it's all of it, like the whole thing through. And I'm like,
The whole
yeah,
thing.
this is great. Even though the movie is like I'd say a 6 to 7 out of 10.
I honestly have never seen the Watchmen movie because I was so like, no, we're only gonna have the graphic novel, as you can see with
As you can see,
my boy,
yeah, it's.
my pride and joy.
I was watching. There's this YouTube channel called Wisecast. Uh, okay, sorry, I have to respond to Courtney before I get into this story.
Oh no.
Courtney and I went to high school together. We didn't just go to high school; like we went to high school together. And I was in a bunch of musicals at Maine West High School, and Courtney would be the only one who has any copies of those musicals. So that's great.
An
Courtney,
emo opera.
I
Oh.
so was that because when I was in the
I'm
musicals, like I
intrigued.
was obviously like being a sad boy and also like I want to write stuff, and like I
Were
was
you
in
a
bands and
Disney
stuff.
kid?
No,
Thank
no,
God.
I was no.
That's why we're friends.
Yeah, that's why.
I know Disney kids who are friends with my friends, and I am not friends with them for a lot of reasons. One of them being a Disney kid.
I am not. I'm not. I just was like into. I was like into musicals. I was into writing. I was into theater, and then I was into like emo music. And I was like, I could do this. And then there literally is a movie called like the Emo Movie or something like that. It's an Australian
What?
Emo musical.
Excuse
Emo the
me?
musical. That's what it's called. It's literally called Emo
Shut
the
up. No,
musical.
no, I don't
Yeah,
believe
it's an
you.
Australian movie, and like this kid like joins a punk band, and yeah, it's literally an emo musical. They only mention one band in it, and it's My Chemical Romance.
Oh my God.
And it's in like one of the last songs of the movie. But yeah, it's not bad. I was actually like very surprised. I think I watched it like
What year did it come out?
it was like a few years ago, probably like 2014, 15, something like that.
That's 6 years ago, Brian.
Time is a flat circle. This
That's more than a few years ago, my guy.
I am still like feeling like it's 2019. Like nothing is.
We wish it was 2019 at this point.
I went back through my like bullet journal from because I'm like getting back into that, so I stay organized and stay productive. And like I was looking at all the stuff that I was writing, and like most of it was from 2019 because I stopped doing it once we got to like quarantine. I'm like, well, what the fuck am I planning? Like I know what I'm doing. Like I don't have any like severe thing that I have to get out of my chair and do, you know? Like so I stopped writing it, and now I'm like back to it. I'm like, well, the last thing I fucking wrote was like preparing for March. I never got into March. Like it's like I'm still living in February currently. Time is a flat circle. Anyway, yes, emo the musical is pretty good. I would be down to having a Twitch viewing party of my high school musical days.
I would love it. I would absolutely love it.
We should figure out how to do that. I forgot the fucking story I was trying to tell. God damn it.
Hey, so anyway, Sky High is a cinematic masterpiece,
No,
and
okay,
when it
I
came
remember now.
and when it came out, my dad had us go and see it in a movie theater. I shit you not, at least 9 times because he loved it so much.
Oh my God.
It was great.
Watchmen. Oh, so there's a YouTube channel called Wisecast, and they have this series where they call they look at movies and they call them deep or dumb, whether they're like really really good and like they give you like this really interesting view of how things are and give you this really deep view into a subject, or if it's just like, wow, you like really thought you were doing something here and you fucking suck. And they looked into Watchmen, and basically they were like, we can't agree. Like no one can agree on it. Um, Zack Snyder took a lot of like what Alan Moore was trying to do with the comic book, and uh, wanted to do that with pop culture instead of like mid 80s
Politics.
politics. Yeah. So he pulled a little bit of the politics out of it, made it more like media centric and how the media would affect this world, being that the medium of a movie is obviously much different. uh Courtney, I'll be back tomorrow. See you then. Yeah, the movie has to take on the role of doing the same story as a movie rather than as a comic book. And so he pulls in a lot of like comic book based stuff into it, but also uh, uh, makes it more of a movie medium as opposed to the comic book, like adding in Zack Snyder violence and shit. Um, and like looking at it through that lens, like I liked the movie before because I thought it was a pretty faithful retelling within the medium of movies that you couldn't really do with a comic book, and also like updated it for a more current audience. Like let's take out Cthulhu and like
Yeah.
just make it not Cthulhu. Let's just make it not Cthulhu. And I
Hmm.
kind of agreed with that. I do like that in the HBO series they bring back the Cthulhu and it
Yeah.
actually works, because they do it so well, guys. If you haven't watched that
Please
show,
go watch the HBO
please
Watchmen series. If
please
they're
go
not making
watch.
another one, which is completely fine
Who
because they
knows?
don't need it. No, they announced that they weren't making another one.
That's what they said. If Damon
They
Lindelof will
shouldn't.
do it, they will.
They
And
should
Damon Lindelof
not.
has said, "I'm not convinced." And then Damon Lindelof asked a question on the Community reunion, and they were like, "Do another one."
Okay, but
uh,
how long did that take?
oh yeah, listen, like who knows? And of course, right now, like give it time, give it space. But Watchmen is probably one of the best TV shows I've seen because it has that clearly defined beginning, middle, and end of a series, and then it's fucking done. It's great. Like, don't make it like about people's contracts. Don't make it like last longer than it has to. Get it done, and they did. So taking the show and then comparing it to the movie is like unfair because the movie stands on its own as its own interpretation of the comic book. But one thing that
Well,
really got me about it, sorry, I'll let me
no,
finish
you're
this thought
good.
and I'll let you go. One thing that really got me about it was how each one of them used time and how you, as an audience member of either one, would change your perception of how time works based on the medium you're watching it through. So Alan Moore writes The Watchmen as passing, like everybody's constantly moving through time. You're looking back at the past, you're looking at the future, you're being told a story in a non-linear fashion, which works in a comic medium because they were doing it as like a serialized thing. So you'd see issue 1, you get to issue 2, and it'd be all about the comedian. And the movie has to do all of that within like a 2-hour time span. And so Zack Snyder actually, and I will give this credit, is that he actually took like this dilation of time as a movie and like made it work for the context that it's in while still telling the exact same story from the comic book. And I thought that was like a really interesting look at like how the movie was made, how the movie still does the same things the comic book in a different medium. So Zack Snyder, you get a little bit of my vote. Still got
You
to
know,
talk to you
he
about
they're
Justice League.
they're releasing the Snyder full cut of Justice League.
Listen, I never saw the movie cut, so like I never saw Batman v Superman because I heard it was so bad. Like I just have no interest in the Snyder DC universe. I don't feel bad about that either.
Okay. I mean, I'm a big Superman person, but I also haven't seen like the new movie, so I don't have a big
if,
say in that.
if everybody in the world tells me that it's bad, I will
That's
I will
fair.
probably go along with
But
it.
granted, everyone in the world said that the Watchmen movie was bad.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's comparing it, like if it's standing on its own and you don't know like some of the background to it, maybe I could see that. But again, like everybody on this YouTube thing I was watching is like we don't know. We half the people said it's a deep movie, it's really interesting. Half of them said no, it takes whatever the comic book was trying to do and like ruins it because you just can't do it. It is a really hard thing to put onto a film, TV, whatever. It might be better as TV, but like a movie medium for that comic book, like
Yeah, because if you try to analyze like Watchmen in any only one, you have to do it only in one theme of it. Because I
mhm.
tried to do this for a rhetorical criticism class I had in undergrad, which everyone in the class except for one kid got a D in, and the one kid got a B. But it was because he did that as like a speech like round.
Okay.
And so it's basically like you pick an artifact, which is just like a book or whatever, and then you pick a theme, and then you have to pick a way of how you want to analyze that theme, and then you have to write like a minimum of 20 fucking pages on it
Oh my god.
in a 10-week class. Okay, it was a lot.
That's two
It was a
pages a
lot.
week.
It was too many. No, you had to do like 4 papers.
Oh my god. Also, everybody just saw me do math in real time there. That literally,
I'm so proud of
you
you.
literally saw me go, wait a minute. That's
Wait,
2 pages a week.
more like Lizzie started it and then did overnighters and then finished at 7 in the morning, and then my class was at 10 a.m. And it was with my debate coach. So every time I walked in, he was like, "Ma'am," I'm like,
Ma'am,
"Yeah, after for practice."
stay after for practice.
We'll yell at each other. It'll be fine.
Yeah, is that just what debate practice is? Just
Yeah, it is. It's us going against each other, yelling at each other for a full 45 fucking minutes. Somebody I was going through because I came up with my timeline, like my last debate tournament. My like, and it was between like us on the team. It was like a whole like, oh, goodbye, farewell. And I saw because one of the coaches, her boyfriend took photos of us, and I was tagged on them. I'm like, these are the worst fucking photos you've taken of me, because it's me like doing this wildly and talking and like yelling. So you just see like my face contorting weird, and I'm just like doing this.
there are
Like,
some really
how can
unattractive
we do
professions.
this?
Like there's some really
Really?
unattractive things like that that like you have to take photos of it and it's like it doesn't
You
look
just
good when you
can't.
do it.
Because you're just like, okay, I'm gonna look down because you like have your paper and points, and you're just like, okay, and it's just like there's a photo of me
Yeah.
just be like, okay, and I'm like, this is bad. Like, why'd you put this up here?
Can
This
you get
ain't
a
it.
photo of that angry girl reading? Like what?
See, she's reading and yelling at the same time. We have to
Yeah.
capture it.
Oh my god, capture that on film. It's it makes I was saying this because I started watching some like vocal covers on YouTube. Like I forget the name of the people, but it's vocal covers with a band or like by themselves, like whatever. And they all their thumbnails are always like them mid singing, and I'm like, man, you cannot make somebody singing like look good as a photo.
No.
Like it's not an attractive thing to do. As a singer, I understand that. Like, no, I don't look cool in photos when I'm like really singing. Like when I'm
Well,
like
especially like
out.
when if you're like screaming, singing, because
Yeah,
you're just like, "Ugh."
it's like
Like
just
it's not gonna look good,
it's throat veins and
and your mouth open weird, and you
yeah.
just look angry.
I also assume though that like these photos, these thumbnails are taken as like its own thing. So it's literally somebody just like I'm trying to figure out which way in the camera it'll look good. And I'm like, okay, so it's literally me doing that, right? So I would snap that as a thumbnail, put it as the thing of the video. This looks fucking ridiculous. Like, I want to click on that video. That guy looks like he's physically dying.
That's what you have to do for your art.
It's no. No. And like, I mean, she's getting a ton of views. She's doing well. Not a bad singer. I have nothing to discredit. She does a lot of like emo and metalcore covers. So nothing to discredit her. I wish I could remember her name to like shout her out. But
Wow.
yeah, no discredit to her talent. Just like man, that sucks. Like you really can't think of like a good. I can't not tell you what a good thumbnail would look like. Period.
I mean, that's the reality we live in. Anyway, back to Watchmen. So I
All
had to
right, back
write
to
this.
Watchmen.
I had to write this 20 plus page rhetorical criticism on Watchmen. And instead of me picking one primary theme, I was like, let's try to hit all the themes a little bit at a time. Big boo boo move.
Big boo
Because
boo
there's too
task.
many fucking like themes in there.
Dude,
Like
yeah.
there's politics, there's corruption, there's
Oh my god, Google, shut up. Hey Google, stop. I've been really fucked up by my like voice activated shit lately.
Yeah, I was editing our broadcast last night, and I always love hearing Brian's like before he does anything or if he messes up a reading, just be like, "What the fuck is this?" And I just heard Siri go off. He's like, "Siri, shut the fuck up!" And I'm like laughing my ass off. It's like midnight.
Yeah, I just hit record. I read everything, and then like just if I mess it up, I just like keep recording and then just post it.
Yeah.
Like, here you go, Lucy. Whatever. I'm sure.
Yeah, no, I heard it. It was great.
Like,
The fact that you said at a certain point, you're like, well, it's not a matter if I can write; it's a matter if I can read.
Yeah, I like rewrote it.
I just started. I blared out laughing. I was like, I can't fucking.
I was having so much trouble reading it that I rewrote it so that I could read it better, and then I immediately fucked it up. And I was like, it has nothing to do with me. I can write. I just can't read. Anyway, sorry. Your 20-page paper. I will make sure none of my shit goes off again.
Basically, I tried to pick too many themes because I'm trying to cover. Watchmen has so many things about like media and politics and the Cold War and Vietnam and feminism and sexism and racism and a whole plethora. Literally everything that we're SJW about is in that fucking book in one way or another. And you're just like, my mind is blown. But there's so many different angles and presentations. You really have to sit down and like, have like the conspiracy theory background where you have like the cork board and you have like the different lines and you're like, okay, this and this and this. And that's how it works. And I did it too much and I like finished at like 8 a.m. or was due at 10 a.m. I walked into class and my professor was like, Lizzie? I'm like, and it didn't help my my professor who's also my debate coach. His name is Dr. Payne.
Dr. Payne.
Welcome so I was like,
class, I'm Dr. Payne.
Well, like because I was on the debate team, I'd be like, "Hello, Richard," instead, and I'm like, "Please don't fail me, sir."
His name was.
Stop! No, we're not gonna do it right now.
His name was Richard Payne.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let the stream like just be a little quiet here for a second. I'm just gonna let this sit with everybody listening at home, everybody who's on the stream, everybody. I just want everyone to just take a moment, just think about this man's name, Richard Payne.
I want you to listen. Richard lives a great life with his husband and their cats. Okay, they are very Richard nice.
Payne, but he's Richard Payne. Oh my god!
I see no one going.
Yeah, no one is responding right now.
No one is responding.
No one's got anything to say about that.
Good.
So Dick Payne, he gave you
a good grade later. No, he gave me a D.
It's a bad teacher.
No, it's fine.
I mean, he's probably fine. Yeah, I don't know.
No, he was fine. We're great.
Everybody can probably tell this is a loose stream. This is a loose episode.
Anyway, so the Avril Lavigne conspiracy theory.
No. Yeah, it's just been a rough week with like becoming unemployed. That like I don't have anything to fucking talk about really, so we're just gonna let it be loose and let it go. If you are in the chat and you want us to talk about anything, let us know. Cause yeah, fuck it. Just want to give that like out a couple times during the course of this because I'm like, yeah, just so you know why it's feeling this way.
Well, Brian, I have a new screenshot.
I don't know if I like that you have a screenshot.
I don't know if I like that either.
That'll be the art for the meme for this episode.
All right, so who else is as unhinged as Robert Pattinson is?
Ooh, I don't know this. Please tell me how unhinged he is.
Oh, well, he's always been unhinged, first of all. Oh no, are you sure you want that?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Just throw it in there. But Robert Pattinson ended up doing his own quarantine photo shoot for, I think it was GQ. And it's just him, like, every time you were to think of, like, a man, like, stereotypically, a man living alone, just losing their mind, that's what Robert Pattinson is doing. Like, he's in the corner like half dressed, like clothes are not matching, just like eating cereal out of the box, like in a corner.
I don't
And him
understand.
just like wearing like ties on his head and everything.
I don't understand why this is unhinged.
It's unhinged.
It
Well, the main
sounds
thing,
great.
no, it is great. It's very great. And like we didn't know that he was also a photographer as well as a great actor, but
I believe it.
that's been like the entire thing for the last like well, more last week. We've moved on to more unhinged people. But it also generated discussion of like, can he really be the Batman? Because they said that he's not bulk enough,
Who cares?
right?
Make the fucking movie you have.
Listen, I want Batman to become so anti-capitalist that I want it to be Robert Pattinson to do it. And if that means he's not as muscular, fine.
Yeah, I do think he'll be great. Like, I can't understand the idea that he would have to be bulky. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me.
Peter just sent this really great. If you're on the Discord, you should get added to the our Discord chat because
Yeah,
this is great.
join our
That's
Discord.
hilarious. I love this.
There's a link in all of our socials and everything. Ooh, I can send this in the chat too.
Oh no.
For literally probably just Dashni. I don't know who else is still in the Discord right now. Or who else is still in the chat. I don't know. This is a loose podcast recording.
Loose.
You're listening to this from home and you're like, I don't fucking care about Discord. Talk to me about
Stop.
What do we talk about? What do we normally talk about?
I don't know. There's some new music out and it hits. There you go.
Oh shit, yeah. Talk about that guy you sent me, because that song is so good.
Kenny Hoopla. So I actually saw our friend of the pod, Johnny Minardi, he posted it and it like the title got my attention. It was something like will I ever have peace if I'm buried by the street or something like that?
How can I rest in peace if I'm buried by the highway?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I vibe with that title. And I listened to So I clicked it in the beginning. I was like, oh, this kind of reminds me of like a little bit like a dance track. Maybe it's gonna be like kind of like Paramore, like during their fake happy era. And then it went into it. I was like, oh, this hits.
It's like I said immediately, it's like Block Party meets like Juice World, like very emo, like emo indie. Like the guitar is straight up Block Party. Like it just sounds straight up Block Party, dancey indie, great. And then like he comes in with his vocals and it's like yelly, sad emo shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god, this is so good.
I want to say it reminded me a bit of Nothing Nowhere, but like more just like more instrumental. I don't know. It like I just really liked it. And I listened to more of his discography and I really enjoyed it. I know that he said he was supposed to be playing like his first like headline show at Sub T this summer. And he had Joywave actually like supporting like opening for him, which they're pretty big, at least like they're a big radio band. Like I think the last show they played was at Metro. So to see them kind of be turned around in that, even though it's a smaller venue, like that's just kind of cool to see.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Like I've never heard of him before. You sent it to me, and then I went to Minardi's story. I didn't tell him, Johnny Minardi, I know you don't listen to this podcast when you're not on it. I mean, I assume. And if you were listening to this at the beginning, you probably changed it like immediately. But yeah, Kenny Hoopla is awesome. We recommend to everybody to go and check. He's got like an EP kind of thing out. That's the only one that really sounds that way. But there's a lot of good stuff on it. It's worth a listen.
Yeah.
Dashni, I was just saying you can join our Discord if you look at the link in chat. Discord is a place where people from our Twitch stream can like hang out and chat when we're not live, and we can send pictures in there because we can't show things on stream necessarily. I just don't want to. I could figure it out.
Share screen real quick over here.
Yeah, listen, it's not how I'm running this Zoom call. But Peter has a question, and we would like to answer it. Actually, I am hydrating. Also, if you go to our Twitch stream, you can tell us to do things during the stream. You can hear the water as I drink it. Peter, now I'm waiting for your question.
Oh.
What's your take on water parks? All right. Oh man, I would
You're gonna have the
love.
stands attack us now. Oh my
fucking
god.
good, fucking good. If there's
Them
one
and
thing I
Ronnie
know how to
Radke.
do, if there's one thing I know how to do, it's ignore children. I'm not a fucking parent. It ain't my kid. I don't know what song it was because it immediately left my brain because water parks is just
Oh, Stupid for You, their main single.
no. I listened to that because it came up on like Spotify Shuffle.
Okay.
No, it wasn't that. It was like this one where he like calls people out by name.
Oh,
And
it wasn't it like entertainment or something?
yeah,
I don't
something
remember.
like that.
Yeah.
And then I looked it up as I was like, oh, this sounds like it was produced by John Feldman, whom
Your fave.
I don't care for John Feldman's production in general because I feel that everything is just the same. It sounded the same to me. So then I checked it up. I checked it out on Wikipedia, and it was like, no, it's actually produced by one of the brothers in Good Charlotte. I think it was Joel.
Benji.
I don't know if it was Benji or Joel. I had this problem on our music stream last week where I was like, which fucking one is the fucking one? Like they both look the same.
One of them is married to Nicole Richie. The other is married to Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, but
that's the only way I know how to tell the difference.
That is so unhelpful. And it's the same thing I had. It's like, what? How am I supposed to tell them who's who?
They're twins. That's what it is.
Benji, you're an adult. Be a human adult and name.
They're French. No, wait, a Simple Plan. Never mind. I'm sorry.
And that's because they're from Canada, where French people can be from. French-speaking people, I should say.
French
they're
people
can
be.
Oh, French.
So only French people can be from Canada.
Yeah. Oh, Canadian French, and then. I was like looking at the camera, like I'm so confident. Yeah. So I had that problem, but it's one of them. A Madden brother produced that record, and then I was like, but in Good Charlotte have a lot of their records produced by John Feldman, and they did. So
you really are just going down the line here.
Like it literally is like, well, it's not, but isn't it? Like basically just taking
by association.
By association, yeah. So there was that. That was already my problem. But also it's just fucking dumb. Like it's just dumb. I don't. I understand. It's just pop punk. It is what it is. Like it's good looking. It's three good looking dudes. Like sure, makes the kids excited. I know that Sleep On It went on tour with them once, and they said they were nice enough guys. So sure, fine. That can all be true in a world where I think that their music is fucking stupid.
When Water Parks first came out, I was still in undergrad. I think I was in like my senior year of college. And we had Stupid for You as a current at our college radio station. I was like, okay, this hits. And we went on a trip to New York for some broadcast awards. And while we were there, it was the Water Parks, Too Close to Touch, and Creeper tour. And I love Creeper. So I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. So I got tickets for my friends and I was like, I really would just rather leave after Creeper because I really don't care too much for water parks. But my friends are like, oh, I'd like to stay. I was like, or whatever. And when I was there, they had the absolute worst fans in the audience. Like so Too Close to Touch and Creeper were the openers technically. If you try to push around or do anything, they'd yell at you. They'd be like, don't touch me. Like, what are you doing? It's like, all right, clearly you've never done this before, or maybe you're just rude because we're in New York. I don't know. I feel like it's the former, honestly, because that's the react I gotten at other shows when it's similar bands like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, fuck it. Like they play Stupid for You is like their last song. And I was like, all right, let's just crowd surf because they were doing it to people. And this girl was like, ew, why would I do that? Why would I like touch people like that? And was like purposely dropping people.
Not a bad.
I was like,
not a bad way to live right now.
Don't like that. Right. This is like when I graduated, 2017. And I was like, I don't like this, but like that's how a lot of their fan base is. And I try not to judge a band off a fan base, but increasingly as I've seen them on like Twitter, because I also like helped run our social media, and we had to follow them, like retweet it because they were like one of the main bands we were promoting. And I was like, I cannot stand the way that this person like
Yeah.
promotes at Austin, AWSTEN.
Yeah.
So like
All caps at all
Austin.
times.
Yeah, and he's trying to pull a Jimmy Urine from Mindless Self-Indulgence. But here's the
Yeah,
thing:
you're right.
a Jimmy Urine from Mindless Self-Indulgence has earned the right to do that.
100%.
He has earned the right to do that because he is such an outrageous human being. He
Yeah.
can do whatever the fuck he wants. And we'll just be like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm gonna go with it. What bothers me is that this guy is like, I get being confident and cocky, but it's like I'm doing it to like, and this is like my personality, and it's
Yeah.
like not a joke. And like you assume that like, oh, this is just something you put down for the public. I don't think it is.
Oh, I don't think so.
And then the stands that are there, and Peter, oh, I know, I believe you wouldn't be a crazy fan like that, like a toxic fan. Like they're fans on Twitter. Obviously, you see all the stands, you see stan culture everywhere on Twitter. I actually had to start. I never even followed these people, but because it was like you follow XYZ, so here's a tweet you might like, because it was so consistent. And I had to block these water park stands that I've never followed or like conversed with ever in my life, because I just kept seeing them tweet so much and so obsessively about water parks and like Austin. I was like, I cannot deal with this.
Yeah.
I was like, I am too old. You are too old to be doing this too. I need you all to stop. So I like had to block a bunch of people. Somehow one of them, like the main like stan, because I guess there's a hierarchy of stands. The main stand to rule them all, I guess. Like they kept coming through somehow, even though I kept blocking them. I think because they like made a new one. And I was like, I can't handle this. I can't do this. So, and then apparently because some other just like pop punk stand in general, they were from like the UK. They started following me, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Like they seem to be incorporated into the scene enough. I didn't think much of it. And then I started people like tweeting like this person is toxic and this whole thing, and I was like, I don't know, like because this person, it was like we would mutually like each other's stuff, but we would never like actually talk. So I didn't think much of it. And then they're like, this person is toxic and like they do all these shitty things. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll just go and follow them because they sound like a piece of shit. And they unfollowed me already, but like you could see like down their timeline, it was just like I'm leaving home and like going to the US to follow this band for an entire tour. And I'm like, listen, if you do that, great, have fun. But how do you like do that? Like you need a lot of money to do that. And I would just really like to know how you are doing that, if you are doing it, because that'd be really sick. But also like that's a lot of fucking money to do that.
It's not something that US people can do. I'll just say it that way. When I went to see Enter Shikari the last time that we could go to concerts and Enter Shikari was playing. It's kind of the way to say it.
That's so sad.
Yeah, we were at a bar next to the venue, just hanging out. Before we left, I noticed that the bassist of Enter Shikari came in and was sitting at this table near us with two other people. And I was like, well, before we go, I have to, if I ever see a band member, I have to ask them to be on the podcast. Just have to do it.
I do it too.
And like I had reached out to Enter Shikari and like got a response from their press person to maybe get the singer on while they were in Chicago or like set something else up, and it never came through. So I was like, well, I'll at least ask him while he's here if that can happen. And he's like, yeah, I'll bring it up to him. And then the two friends that he was sitting with, one was from Scotland, one was from not London, but somewhere else in the UK. And they were like, I was like, oh yeah, like I'm so sorry to interrupt you guys. Like I really appreciate like you giving me the time to like talk to your friend. Like I'm yeah, sorry. Like we're gonna probably head out. And they're like, join us for a drink. And I'm like, sounds good. So we sit down and we're just hanging out with them. We hung out for like 3 more hours with them. Like they were awesome. But they had basically flown into the US just to see Enter Shikari for like 2 months. Or like no, it was a short tour. It was just 1 month, but they were basically like driving around the U.S. following Enter Shikari to all their shows, and like spent like 2 days in Chicago because it was the last show of the tour. And I was like, yeah, that's That's the dream. But I'm like, it's only because you're from the UK. Like if you were from any other, Europe, I guess I could say, if you were from America, you're like, oh, I can afford to do all of this and make that happen. Um, Imagine having those social skills. I had been drinking, Peter.
Peter, that's the thing. When we do these things, we have crutches. So Brian drinks. I have a business card. It works. It's fine.
Yeah. My crutch sounds worse than yours put next to each other.
No one can say shit about my business cards.
Also, I have like a strong history of being very awkward with band members. It is honestly kind of impressive the way that I am just really not great around other people.
Peter, I hope your business cards are cool.
Everybody needs business cards just to talk to people. I'm not an alcoholic. I just like I'm at a concert. I'm in the place where the band is. I'm gonna be able to talk to them. So at the point at time when I get to talk to them, I will have had a drink or two or multiple or many, and then I will talk to them. When I first met a member, oh my God, and that was at the same venue too. Heather Baron Gracie of Pale Waves. I'll tell that story first, and then I'll tell my other Enter Shikari story. Because again, this podcast is loose and nothing matters and nobody cares, and all of us have time. I went to the Pale Waves show at Lincoln Hall, and there was a lineup for everybody to like do a meet and greet with them after the show, but they were kicking everybody who was under 21 out of the venue. So I got to stay because I'm 97 years old.
Oh my God.
And me and my friend are just like at the bar, like after this line is like starting to die down. And I also ended up knowing like one of the security guys who was like just for the venue, just like.
Wait, where was that, at Lincoln Hall?
At Lincoln Hall, yeah.
I feel like I always know at least one person there.
Oh yeah.
Or they know me and they're like, "Oh, you're back," and I'm like, "Who the fuck are you?" But yes, I am.
Peter, I am just 97. I am not 197 yet. Although the way this time warp of a life is working, who knows?
It might age you.
It might age me. So we wait until the line dies down. I go up to him and I'm like, "Hey, dude, like, you mind if I get in the line?" He's like, "Hey, I didn't know you were here." Like, "Yeah, go ahead." So we get in the back of the line, we take photos, and I'm like, "Yeah, fucking great." It's on my Instagram. You can see the photo there. I am way too excited, and the band could not give a fuck because we were like the last two people in line. Like the band was like, whatever. And I was like, "Hey, like, if you guys need a drink or anything, like, happy to get you a drink. Since everybody else is leaving the venue, like, it's just people who are 21 and up. Like, figure I'd ask." And most of them, everybody's like, "Nah, no, we're all good. Like, we've had whatever." I also think that most of them were under 21 at the time. So this was like at least 3 years ago, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. So yeah, we leave the venue, we go to the bar, same bar actually, where I met the Enter Shikari guy. And we're hanging out, and a few other friends that are at the show come with us, and we're all there. And I noticed that Pale Waves tour bus is parked directly out across the street from Lincoln Hall. And I'm not keeping an eye on it necessarily, but it is like within.
It's there. You're just like.
It's within periph. Yeah, it's peripherally visible from ordering a drink at the bar, right? So that's all. Like, I just happened to notice that the singer and I believe drummer of Pale Waves, the two girls in the band, were outside of the bus, and Heather Baron Gracie at the time was not out as gay, and I was in a committed relationship. But those two particular things have nothing to do with each other. It's just two pieces of information that don't have anything to do with one another. And I, at this point, had a couple of old fashions, and I go, "Bruh, hold my drink." And I run out, and I was like, go across the street, and I was like, "Hi." She's talking to like three other like fans, like other people that are there. And I go, "Hi, love your band. We were at the show tonight. Took a photo. Like, really just like wanted to say thank you for everything. Like, I love the show tonight. We are over at this bar over there. Like, if anybody in the band wants to come by, like, we would love to buy you a drink and hang out just in the event you want to do that." And it's just like, okay. And then I was like, this was a bad call. And I just go back to the bar, and they're like,
So you learned to not go up to young women and say, "Please let me buy you a drink. I am a random man
I
who
never
just
said
came out
please,
of a bar."
and I invited the group. I invited everybody to come
Still,
and hang out at the bar. I said, I love your band. Like, I am a fan. I'm happy to just like buy you a drink and hang out if you're hanging out. If you're not, totally cool. And then I had a couple other friends of mine who were also there. It's like, wait, they're outside of their bus, and then they ran across the street. I learned nothing from
Destiny,
that
he learned.
experience.
Yeah, we've known
Yeah, I learned
this
nothing.
far. We've known.
The other Enter Shikari story was at the first Falling in Reverse tour. To give you,
You mean the very first, like for the Drug and Me Is You?
yep.
Were you at Mojo's too?
That was not at Mojo's. That was at House of Blues.
No,
So
I
then
went to the
maybe
one at
not.
Mojo's. No, I was at the very first one. It was like right after they just released.
Oh, then it must have been after that. This was the tour with Falling in Reverse, Enter Shikari, Icy Stars, and Let Live. And that was when they kicked Icy
Yikes.
Stars off because Ronnie Radke like first started to have to tell everybody that he's an asshole with his actions. So also Icy Stars fucking killed it on that show. Like, it was stupid that he kicked them off. So I was in the back. Like, House of Blues can at times be sanctioned off for like older kids, older people to be by the bars around the venue, while the younger kids are kind of corralled in the middle and aren't allowed in certain areas because they aren't drinking. I was in the back. I was drinking a bev, and the guitarist of Enter Shikari walks by, and I like didn't even think about it. I just go, "Hey." And his name is Rory, and I was like, "Rory, right?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Dude, I love your band. Like, I'm such a big fan of your band." He's like, "Oh, thanks, dude." And like, then I don't know what happened. Like, I had a conversation.
You blacked out.
I know exactly what happened. I just don't know why I made that thing that happened happen. I clearly had a conversation in my head that neither he nor myself knew was happening. Like, I just started talking like as though we had already been hanging out for like 10 minutes, right? And I go, "Hey, how does your lead singer pronounce his name?" And he goes, "Oh, Rao." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, cuz my last name is pronounced Roe."
I hate this so much.
And that was the end of it. It's just like, "All right, cool, man." And like goes. And I'm like, what just happened to me?
You know when you're watching like a movie or TV show and you're like, I have to leave the room while this is happening because I'm so embarrassed for the character that I have secondhand embarrassment? You
Yeah.
gave me secondhand
I
embarrassment.
gave myself secondhand embarrassment. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck happened. Like, I should be able to hold a human conversation, and I clearly couldn't. I don't know, man. But I'm like, well, at least I got this funny story to talk about on a podcast, I guess.
I mean, there's that at least. I tried to finagle an interview with Frank Iero because he was literally like right there in front of me at Riot Fest when I was in the
Yeah.
press tent. And I went up to his manager, and he was like the stereotypical like asshole like British dude. I was like, "Sir, I am here," like because they would only give you like 5 minutes. And I saw him because we had just finished up an interview, the person I was working with. And when I get really excited and I'm in like a professional setting, what my first thing I do is I just start hitting people. I'll be like, "Can you fucking see? Do you see?" And they're like, "Stop hitting me." And I'm like, "I'm either got to like flip my fucking shit out or I'm gonna hit you. Pick one."
Oh boy.
So they were like, "Go up and see if they'll give us an interview," because I had emailed them, but I didn't hear anything back. And I was like, "Hey, like, can we have like 5 minutes?" Like he was like standing right there, and he was like, "Oh no, you have to email them." I'm like, "Well, I did. We just have some time, and I overheard that your interview bailed, so I'm here." He just seemed very annoyed. I'm like, "I'm gonna be fucking diligent as I can, because why the fuck does it matter?" Like they probably just looked at me as like I'm just some annoying young fangirl.
Who cares?
Really, at the end of it, but I was like, "Fuck it, Frank Hero's right there, right in front of me. He sees me trying to shoot my shot."
Listen, bro. I got to do it to you. You standing
And
right
I
here.
did it. And I had to. Frank Arrow, do you remember when you first started Frank Arrow in the celebration and at Reggie's Rock Club? I waited 2 hours to beat you, and I had to suddenly shake your hand and leave because my train back home was leaving and I had to get back home. Yeah, so I should have an interview. Thank you.
And he's like, was that a question? Sounds like
It's a statement of fact.
doesn't sound like a you asked it like a question. I don't think it was a question. Anyway, yeah, we should definitely have more people that we really don't know how to talk to on this podcast.
Love it.
Guys, I'm trying to be hip.
Hip and cool with the cool kids.
Listen, yes, I look like McLovin. Yes, I look like a dad. Yes, I have a fucking phenomenal mustache. And I am hip. I'm fucking hip, dude. I need to get my hair cut. But aside from that, I'm hip.
Oh my God.
I'm doing great. Well, look, we've all had a lot of fun on the podcast recording of this, but yeah, I don't know what the fuck else to talk about on the podcast. So I think we'll just chalk this one up to a fucking manic period of our lives.
Love
we'll
it.
Close out the pod part, and we will continue chatting over on Twitch. If you are listening to this and you are not following us on Twitch, make sure to check us out at emosocialclub.tv. Come and subscribe if you want to. I will call you out. And just follow otherwise. You'll get notified when we're going live. And there's a lot of fun stuff that we're doing on there. Wednesday and Thursday at 7:30, Fridays at 5:30. And now Mondays at 7 with Emo Yoga with Lizzie. So yeah, very much appreciate you being here listening on the pod. Come to our Twitch streams and chat with us afterwards on the Post
Posty pod,
the Post Malones. And
okay.
And we'll catch you next week. And let me start playing the song. I can't hear it, but it's playing.
I can hear it.
Good. Somebody can hear it. And oh God, I can't hear it. Oh God. From all of us here at the Emo Social Club Podcast, I'm Brian.
I'm Lizzie.
And fucking goodbye. Was
Your
it close
face
enough?
there.
Who cares?